Yeah.
And so in January of 2022, me and my husband pray together every morning.
That's
and
nice.
So before we leave, and so in January, of 2022, I said, John, we need to add to the prayer. I said, because this has got to be my last year working where I was. And he said, so what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I want a job where I can have work-life. I was very specific. I can have work-life balance. I can plan parties, socialize, hang out with my friends, and drink wine. Like, it was in that order. And so he was like, how are you going to get a job doing that? Like, who's going to pay you to do that?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know, but God's going to provide. And so we prayed that prayer every day from January until the beginning of October. And so I remember we would pray, and sometimes he would say, like, have you applied for a job? Have you looked for a job? And I was like, nope, God's going to do it. And so I never applied, never looked for anything. In October, I got a random call out of the blue. I was sitting at my desk, and it's my current executive director. And he said, hey, we need an event planner. Would you be interested? I don't know if we can pay you. I don't know what your salary is, but would it be something you'd be interested in? And I said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. It almost doesn't even matter what the salary is, because I have been praying this specific prayer since January. And so for you to call, I know that is a direct answer. I'm almost getting emotional just thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's a direct answer from God, and I can't say no.
225 moments where his glory shines. Yeah.
Welcome to 225 Moments with me, MNicole. I am so happy that you're here. Listen, if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're always here, welcome back, friend. I am so happy to have you. This is a space of empowerment and encouragement inspired from Joel 2:25, where God promises to restore years that the locust has eaten. On each episode, you'll find stories of God's restoration power, where he's taken us from loss to abundance. On today's episode, we have a special guest, and I'm so excited that she's here with us today to just share her light, because when I think of her, I think of light. Her light shines so bright, and I pray this episode gives you the same. So put your seatbelts on, and I'm just going to welcome Kenya Hughes to the stage today. So happy to have you here. I like to give introductions, but I like for people to tell the world about you, because I'm sure I don't have all the latest and greatest, because you get downloads just like I do.
Oh, my God.
So tell everybody about you, your projects. You do a lot of work in Africa. I'm so happy that you're here. So tell us, what's up?
Well, first, Monique, thank you so much for having me on your show. I am I'm just excited and honored to be here today. And so my story, when people somebody asked me a couple of months ago, she asked me to go out with her for coffee.
Yeah.
And it was a very random ask. And I was like, okay. And so she said, tell me your story. And I was like, well, where do you want? Like the beginning, the middle, the end? Like, my story is so long.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, I am from Charleston, South Carolina, actually born and raised in Warner Robins, Georgia.
Nice.
I have always loved people. My mom tells a story of when I was 2 years old. We flew to Germany, and she went to sleep, and I was talking. And when she woke back up 5 hours later, I was talking to the poor GI sitting right next to me. So I've always had a love for people, and I've always loved talking. But I have lived in the Atlanta area for 22 years with my husband, John. I do now work for a nonprofit, and it is called Heart for Africa.
Nice.
And so we have a 2,500 acre farm in Eswatini, Africa.
Wow.
And God is just amazing. We were never blessed with children. We had 5 miscarriages and a failed adoption. But when you just let God work and do his thing, and that's what he did, I'm now able to fundraise and raise awareness for 451 formerly orphaned children in Africa.
Wow.
So that is I call that my paid job, but my purpose job.
Yes.
But I also do event management and planning on the side. I do balloon decor.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually getting ready to launch a podcast.
Yes.
Called Coffee with Kenya. Yes. Everyday conversations with everyday people. And so I love people and connecting. And so that's what I do.
That's good. And so it's funny because when I thought about your episode, I thought a lot about my latte fuel journey. Because a lot of times people look for something to fuel them, but your light is not ordinary. So it's apparent to me, because spiritually, I'm connected, that your light is fuel from God. So really, the latte is the latte, but people don't know that your latte is special.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Some special sauce in there, girl.
Thank you.
So kind of back up and tell us about the journey of working with the Purpose Project in Africa. Like, how did that come about? Like, what was that like?
So I worked in retail leadership for 23 years. And so I was really happy for 18 of those years, which sounds crazy because people are always like, who is happy working in retail?
Right.
But I was happy. I loved it. I love people. I love connecting. And so it was a great journey for me to be on. It's what brought me to Atlanta. We lived in Charleston. My job said you can either move to Rhode Island or Atlanta. I said, I'm not moving to Rhode Island. And so we moved to Atlanta, and I worked with a couple of different companies. But the last company I was with, I was just tired of working holidays and weekends and nights and missing out on spending time with family and friends and, the brunches. Yeah. And so in January of 2022, me and my husband pray together every morning.
That's
and
nice.
So before we leave, and so in January, of 2022, I said, John, we need to add to the prayer. I said, because this has got to be my last year working where I was. And he said, so what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I want a job where I can have work-life. I was very specific. I can have work-life balance. I can plan parties, socialize, hang out with my friends, and drink wine. Like, it was in that order. And so he was like, how are you going to get a job doing that? Like, who's going to pay you to do that?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. But God's going to provide. And so we prayed that prayer every day from January until the beginning of October. And so I remember we would pray, and sometimes he would say, like, have you applied for a job? Have you looked for a job? And I was like, nope, God's going to do it. And so I never applied, never looked for anything. In October, I got a random call out of the blue. I was sitting at my desk, and it's my current executive director. And he said, hey, we need an event planner. Would you be interested? I don't know if we can pay you. I don't know what your salary is, but would it be something you'd be interested in? And I said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. It almost doesn't even matter what the salary is because I have been praying this specific prayer since January. And so for you to call, I know that is a direct answer. I'm almost getting emotional just thinking about it. Yeah. That's a direct answer from God, and I can't say no. So I gave him the salary range that I needed. I made really good bonuses at my previous company. And so I took a really big pay cut. And my husband was really stressed. He was like, you're taking a big pay cut. I was like, God is our source. And so he's never let us down anytime. Yeah. And so I just trust him. And so he leaned into that. And I stayed to get my bonus through December.
Yeah, that was smart.
So, I was like, I can't start until January. So I get that bonus.
Right.
And so I stayed, and I started in January at Heart for Africa. And it has been probably 2 of the best years of my life.
Wow.
We have done more with less. I've traveled more. I've been able to spend more time with my family and my friends. And it's just really been a blessing. And so it's also amazing how God will work because the lack that I thought that I had, he's given me increase in my other business.
Wow.
And so you just have to, it's been a great faith journey for me. Yeah. And so I'm just continue to just walk in that.
Yeah. And when you say in your other business, that's event planning.
Event planning.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember when you started to put up stuff that you were doing, you was like, hey, test this out. What you think? And you just stayed with it.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what pulled and tugged on you to say, I want to start doing event planning? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, I've always loved planning parties and having people over. I mean, I remember in college, like, I would tell my parents, like, oh, my friend's coming over. Oh, and their mom and dad, because they didn't have anywhere to go. Yeah. And so I just have always loved entertaining and having events. And so I've always done that. But what really happened was during COVID. So I always do something for my birthday that is around charity. And so for COVID, I couldn't do anything. And I was devastated. So I said, we're going to do the birthday drive. That was when the drive-bys were a big thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't have a regular drive-by. Like, I need balloons. I need a tent. Like, I need all the things. And so I remember going on YouTube and looking at this tutorial, balloon garlands. So I made this balloon. Now I look back, I'm like, that was a hot mess. But at that time, I thought it looked good. And so I made it. And then people started calling me and asking me. And it was so funny, Monique. I was just ordering these balloons off of like Amazon. Didn't know what I was doing. People were calling me. All my balloons had popped. Like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'll send you your money back. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And so I just stuck with it. And so I'll be honest with you, haven't dove all the way into it. Like if I really dive into it, which I plan on doing, it's really just literally been all word of mouth for the most part. Like I hardly post on social media. But it is when you provide good service, people believe in you, you're light. And with that business, I really look at it like I'm connecting with people. So it's not just I'm blowing up balloons or I'm managing an event. I'm really connecting with the people.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I say to people all the time, people buy from people they like.
Girl.
Listen.
Girl.
From people they like. And your service could be subpar.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's good, but it's not excellent.
Yeah.
But because people like you, it's really the energy you put into it that makes it just, I'm not going to no one else.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you. And they trust you. Yeah. Right? I also want to ask, what about people around you that have experienced your growth? Like, in doing just even an event planning to now, like that takes like encouragement, of course, the right people around you to say, keep going, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really am learning. You know how sometimes you have to let people go.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot go with you.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a people person and I'm an empath.
Yeah.
For a long time, I was like, oh, they got. Listen. Yeah. They can't all go. And so I actually have a few people in my life, and like in my adult, you have your childhood friends. Then you have like I call them my 20 to 30 year, like that age range friends. And then you have your lifetime friends. So they're the reason, the season, and the lifetime friends. And so I'm very intentional about the people that I let in my space. So people will say a lot of times like, can you have a lot of friends? You're always busy. You're always going. And I do, and I love people, but I'm very intentional about who I allow to be in my space. And because I pour into a lot of people, and so sometimes I need to be poured into.
Ain't no sometimes.
And I don't all the time. Yes, well, but I'm always poured into from God, but poured in, from other people. Yeah. And so I want to if I'm going to give you that time, I want to make sure, because time is precious.
Absolutely.
And so the people that I spend time with, I want to make sure that they're people that we can grow and learn from together.
Yeah. That's so good because as much as you pour, you have to be also replenished.
Yes.
Or you'll be pouring from an empty cup, trying to save the world.
Yes.
You can't. It's impossible.
It is.
And so tell us about a moment where you felt like that was the hardest thing to do. Like, you were growing and it was someone that you felt so like to your heartstrings. This was a person that you just loved and you just knew that they were not equipped to go where you're at now. Yeah. What was that like?
I've actually had two of those. I had one in my 20s.
Okay.
And then one recently.
Yeah.
And one of them was like a sister to me, but we couldn't come to agreement on some things and we just had to move forward. And it was hard. People don't understand, I think, especially women in like relationships, sisterhoods, I'll call them.
Friendships,
Friendships, sisterhoods.
Yeah.
It's okay to grieve.
Yeah.
It is okay to grieve. But in order to move forward, you have to sometimes let people go.
Yeah.
And for me, I've grown. My friends that have known me since that have all said the same thing. Like there's just a brighter light in letting that go. And sometimes I will say that we hold on to people for too long.
Yeah.
Knowing that we should not be holding on.
Absolutely.
But it's an emotional attachment. It's comfortable. They know you. But sometimes we just have to let people go.
So do you feel like in that moment, was it, you said you guys can agree to something. Was it at a level of, I guess you definitely decided that it was something you could move past, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of those times you get nudges along the way.
Along the way.
It's like different stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, it be almost commercials. And
Yeah.
it scare you a little bit. Because you're like, I would have never said that if I was her talking to me. Or I would have never done that to her.
Yeah.
Why would she do X, Y, Z? So I want to know, like, in the midst of you going back, because I just talked about recently how your experiences pull something from you to give you stronger spiritual maturity. What do you feel like in the moments that you was getting the nudges and you went back to reflect? Like, was it something super petty that you just couldn't get past? Or was it something that you just had to let it go and you were very vocal about it with her and it just didn't come to an agreement? Just so someone else can understand when they get those nudges, what can help them?
So I will tell you that a lot of times we give people and this is in like one of my girlfriends, we had literally been friends since the 5th grade.
Wow.
And so by the time we got to our 30s, I think that sometimes when people see you growing, I don't want to say that there is a spirit of jealousy, but that you've always been right there alongside them. And so as you're growing and moving, some people are not comfortable in you going. And so you see it, like it's just gentle nudges, like, I don't know, you put on something you think you look cute in, and they're like, oh, you look all right. Well, I'm gonna always hype you up.
Yeah.
If you think you look, now if you look a mess, I'm like, girl, I look a hot mess. Where are you going with that?
Yes.
But it's little things like that. Or the other thing is like, if you're talking about someone else to me, then you're probably talking about me
to someone else.
To someone else.
That's true.
And so you hear those things, but you're so in your mind, right, that this would never happen to me, that you look past those things and you give passes.
That's true.
And you can't. And so I would say that even if you're getting like a little nudge, like listen to it, just sit in it. It's kind of like when people say, you know, in a relationship, they say write down 10 positives and 10 negatives and then look at them. It's the same with friendships.
Yes, it is.
Write down the positives and write down the negatives. And if the negatives outweigh the positives, then that's probably not a relationship that you need to move forward with.
Right.
And so sometimes I think that God will give you these little lessons, these little nudges, these little situations, like, I'm going to give it to you one more time.
Right. To see if
you got it or do you not got it?
Right.
And so that's just what I think.
And you know, sometimes I feel like in the midst of me having experiences like that, when I had to break away and just say, hey, this isn't working anymore, I often went back to look at the nudges. Because I felt like in the midst of the nudges, it would have felt easier.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like a crazy breakup.
Yeah.
When it's like you're out of nudges, you're out of gas, you have nothing left. You know what I mean? And you're like, why am I feeling like I'm feeling with someone that I used to hold so near and dear to my heart?
Yeah.
This happened with someone I was in 10th grade. We were the 10th grade on up.
Yeah.
I can imagine 5th.
Yeah.
You know? But then you just say to yourself, in the midst of the nudges, had I let go?
Yeah.
It would have been easier.
It would have been, yeah.
I wouldn't have had to grieve so long.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had to, and for me, I had to face betrayal.
Oh.
Like crazy betrayal. Like it didn't make sense to me then, but I knew I couldn't go on without severing things.
Yeah.
And I just remember like I still was in my head. I didn't want to excuse them, but I wanted to justify why did they do that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then I found out on social media. It's
That's
like,
the worst.
wait.
That's the worst.
What?
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Am I tripping? And then when people hit you up, like, do you see this?
Well, you know what I just say, like, with that, like, with so, like, just tell me.
Right.
Like, when people, I remember I had this one girlfriend, oh my gosh. I'm like, girl, what you going through? Because I can tell, like, on your, just, who is it? Can you just call them? Because I'm about tired of seeing all of your subliminal messages on social media.
Right.
And so I always say, like, go to the source. Like, you don't need to put the subliminal messages, like, go to the source. But I also think the more that you build your relationship with God, and the closer you get, God, he removes those people from you because he also makes it comfortable for you to have those conversations. Because had I had the relationship with God that I have now, that I had 5 years ago, and 15 years ago, I wouldn't have even had to go through that because I would have been able to approach it and handle it differently. But when you're not walking, not that I wasn't walking, but it takes time. Like some people, you know, they get to Christ sooner. I mean, I was saved when I was 6 years old. I was baptized when I was 21. And so I've always been in church and been in the Word. But it's just something about these last 4 years that I've just, girl, I just...
Hey, you got first first line up. Like,
listen, hey,
it's a one way.
It's me.
First class.
Yes.
Receipt.
Yes.
All the things. I want to go back to the friendship piece because I also remember for me, even though I was trying to justify the moment for this person because of the heartstrings and the longevity and, oh, this can't be almost 30 years. Like, how? Like, you know, this just can't be. And I just remembered I was traveling for I like to travel with my husband sometimes when he go off for work.
Love it.
So we was traveling and I remember we was in Vegas and this was probably like maybe a week or two after I saw the betrayal. And I remember going to sleep. Everything was fine. I didn't have no crazy stuff going on. We had a good time because we create our time.
Right.
And so I remember waking up that morning and I had the craziest dream. So in my dream, God showed me the person. And in the dream, they was camouflaged like behind a bush. And in the bush, they either carry snakes or they look like a snake. It was something along those lines. But I would tell you, when I woke up that morning, I was like, God, what are you saying to me? And it was, you can camouflage this all you want, but the person is still a snake. Girl.
Yes.
I immediately said, you know what? I hear you, God. Like,
yes.
I can't. I was so grateful in that moment for the dream to just reveal, because I've been having dreams since I've been a little girl. And my dreams come true just like they are. And I was like, God, thank you for the warning, because it could have been the bite, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't deny it. Like, that was just my revelation to say, I got to have this big girl conversation. I'm about to put on my big girl drawers and say, you know what?
Yeah.
This is you know, I was very much mature with no attitude, nothing like that. And I was getting ready to get married. And I said to her, I said, you know, I can't tell you how it hurt me so that this happened. And I saw you, you know, with this betrayal, like you did this. And I said to her, I said, I got to let you know that I can't have you stand next to me on the best day of my life. I was very clear about that, you know? And I definitely was very vocal in telling her how it made me feel. And that wasn't up for negotiation. The dream was just too vivid for me to ignore.
Yeah.
A snake?
Yeah.
In a bush? Camouflage? This lady's face?
Right.
No. God, I hear you all the way.
Right.
And it wasn't anything someone could talk me out of. It was just that. And I believe in her mind, she thought that something could happen after that, like we could rekindle the friendship. But what we had, the little bit that we had left, was gone. Sometimes the longevity kind of means the stretching of things. And if you stretch something out long enough, that stretch gets thin. It gets thin, especially if you're not bringing it back in to get the right moisture to pull it back out. So I felt like that's what it did for me when it comes to the friendship. But I kind of sensed you was going to ask me something.
No, I was just going to tell you, I vaguely remember that. Like, I think I vaguely, and I remember how proud I was of you. Because I remember you, I think you posted something and I was like, how big of her to, like, on her biggest day, in her biggest moment. I do remember that. You know how you remember that social media is good for a lot of things.
Memories,
right. And that was one that I didn't even really know you, but I remember you sharing that. And I was like, she's going to bless a lot of people. Sharing that story.
Somebody needed that to be free.
Yes.
But I tell you, that dream. I couldn't. Like, it was like, God was like, all right, you go on if you want to.
He's like, I've given you enough nuggets, right?
Yes.
A little. And so you don't want to listen. To let me, because I know that you dream. And so I'm going to give you this dream. And then sometimes I feel like God is like, listen, it's on you now. Like, I have done, I've given 10 times. And you were still not listening. So
I also noticed that you have like a big passion for bringing women together in sisterhood. Tell me about that.
I just love women, and I just believe in encouraging and lifting up one another. It's hard. It is so hard. And we all have a story. That's and a lot of times when you share your story, then other people are like, oh, either they've been through it, they know somebody that they can share your story with to help and encourage someone. And I just believe that we should be a light to each other.
Was it a point where you decided, you know what, I want to do sisterhood socials? And I don't know if you have it as a formal group or not, but I kind of want to know, like, what made you say, I want to do this, like the social with women? Because that's a lot. I would just tell you that. Because I've had both. I've had the socials and all of that. Let's get together. Let's drink tea. Let's do martinis. And then we gave back to the community. And then like I've had a golf league for women. That was amazing. So we had like the focal of being amazing on the golf course as Black women, and then came Manifestation Circle, right? But when I look back at the overall journey, the journey started from trauma. It started from when I was in a place where I was engaged to this guy, and he was engaged to me and another woman at the same time.
Okay.
So this woman found me and listen, all the things, fireworks, 4th of July, Christmas, all of that. Memorial Day.
Okay.
That was everything.
Okay.
And so I just remember it was during Christmas time, and it was such a sad place for me because I was broken. And I think the piece that broke me was me and this guy went to church together. He sung in a choir. We went to the churches, getting ready to do the counseling for the marriage stuff. We were all in tune to, the planning, putting deposits down, all the things. So I kept thinking to myself, like, what was he going to do? Like, at the end, like, was this just going to be like this revelation that he was going to pick and choose?
Right.
Like, how was this going to work? But after I got over all of those questions in my head, I knew that it was something I was supposed to get. And at that time, Tyler Perry had this wonderful movie called, what was the movie? It wasn't Why Did I Get Married? It was the other one where the lady had the guy in the wheelchair, and you remember the movie with I can't think of it. But anyway, it was this movie. And it gave me therapy every I watch this movie every day.
Oh,
I
gosh.
I didn't skip a day.
Trying to think of what movie. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
now I'm going
it
to have
was
to research it.
A lady being with a man, and the man ended up dogging her out, and he got into like an accident or something.
Okay.
And she had to see about him, and that's when she kind of got her lick back.
Okay.
And she carried on and lived this amazing life.
Okay.
I can't
I'm gonna have to I'm just yeah.
But I watched it every day.
Okay.
It was to me my therapy, because although I probably should have at that time went to go see a therapist, I was too shamed.
Yeah.
I was so shamed. Because think about the ridicule and the stuff people were saying. Like, how could you miss this? Hey, I didn't know.
Right.
I thought I turned over all the leaves. I really thought, especially in the church.
Listen. Anywhere. It can happen. Anywhere.
Singing in the choir.
Singing in the choir. Praise Him.
God. It was something. And so anyway, it broke me so that it was very hard for me to answer phone calls. I mean, this has been like 25 years ago, but it was hard for me to answer phone calls from girlfriends because I was so broken. Like, I went to work, came home. Listen, the best performance you got out of me at that time was at work.
Yeah, because you didn't have to think about it. It was a distraction.
And I got home. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I just want to make it to another day.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I remember when my girlfriends came over, she was like, I had to come check on you. I got to see if you all right. Like, and I was like, to be honest, I'm not.
No.
I'm not okay. But I will be.
You're
I
right.
remember telling her that I
you knew
will
that.
be
Yes.
okay, but I'm not okay right now. And so after I went through all the stages, the rage, the upset, the tears, the punishment to me, because now I'm looking at me like, girl, is you slow? Like, what happened?
How did you miss all? Girl, I have a story.
And so the reason I'm bringing that up is because the girlfriend said, let's do a Christmas party.
Okay.
And I said, okay, we'll do it at my house, okay.
Yeah.
And so she invited oh man, I want to say maybe 10 other ladies. And then I invited some people. I probably had about 20 ladies at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. When I tell you it brought me so much joy.
Yes.
It made me smile over the time that I just felt like I couldn't smile, right? And it was such a good time that we said, we should do this more.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I know, right? So we got together and formed Girlfriend Social Network. That's what it was called.
Oh, I love that.
And it was very much of a social. We get together, we do things, martinis.
Right.
It was every quarter. And so it was good. And so it was good until it wasn't.
Okay.
Right? Because remember, you're growing. And socialization was fine, but to me, it missed purpose.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm growing now.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the rut of shame and guilt.
I'm ready for the next. Yes, I'm ready. I'm done.
Full responsibility. I just, listen, you want to say I was slow? I might have been a little bit.
But I'm no longer slow.
I'm no longer
slow. I'm no longer that. Okay? I have moved on.
Exactly. And I remember in my story, as hurtful as it was, it gave a lot of the women around me hope.
Mm-hmm.
It gave them, you know what? It's okay that I messed up. It's okay. Look at her. Because after that, God just took off in my life. I had blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings. And I didn't hold my tongue to share it.
Yeah. See,
I also believe sometimes when God bless you, people think you're just supposed to sit on your hands and just be quiet and not say anything. And then they have a problem when you share his glory.
Those people are not ready to receive it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's those people. I have learned that people, when you're sharing a testimony,
yes,
and you're giving God the glory,
yes,
it's not about you.
Yes.
When you start with what God did, and I'm not bragging because this is what God did, and people still have a problem with it,
right?
Those people are not on the same level as you, because our tests are our testimonies.
That's right.
To help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so my coworker just did a devotional 2 weeks ago, and it talked about this. Like, God doesn't give us these blessings for us to keep them to ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
And so if you're offended by my blessing, I'm sorry. Because I'm going to keep telling you every time.
Yeah, because
that's what made me, right, he's not going to stop blessing me.
Exactly.
And that's what has made me who I am.
Exactly.
So I'm so sorry if you don't hear my blessing. You want to hear my blessing? Oh, let me tell you what God did for me, because that's what I'm going to do.
It's for somebody.
It's for somebody.
And it may sound like bragging to you, but for the person who understands the power of God and the glory of God, it's going to sound like glory.
It is.
It's two different sounds.
It's two different.
It's bragging or it's glory.
No. And the people that, there's such this fine line with people that want to give God the glory, but then it's about them.
Right.
Me, I'm like, this ain't about like the stuff that God has done in my life, in the rooms that I have been in. I always say, ain't nothing but God done. Because there is no way in the world that I would have been able to to do this and experience this.
Right.
And so I share because it helps people. Like even my testimony with my job and just how I prayed.
Yeah.
And just trusted God. Like, you don't apply. You go to work every day.
Yes.
You're telling people, like, bold, this is my last year here.
Yeah.
I was telling people that. I'm not going to be here. Remember.
They're probably like, what is she on?
I'm telling you.
I am for real.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, I am just that bold.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have not always been that way.
Yeah.
But your question was about sisterhood and how that.
I wanted to know and I gave you that journey because I know mine came from trauma, which witnessed to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how it started. I would have never thought by now.
Right.
That I would be a full-blown manifestation coach and I would have a purpose-driven growth alignment group that is not about socialization.
Yeah.
It's about staying connected to your higher self, to God.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But it started from pain.
Mm-hmm.
But when God turns your pain into purpose, you can't abort the start.
No.
We just want to get to the end.
Right.
And sometimes the end of if you rewind to that moment for me, that end, it would have looked different than this ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like, I would have sold myself short.
Yeah, you would have. Because you would have sat in that.
Yeah.
You would have just sat in that.
Yeah.
And who knows where you would have been.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
You need those sisters and those women in your corner. I mean, so my story's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And part of it is just who I am, the reason why I am who I am.
Yeah.
So when I was 14 years old, I got meningitis and I almost died.
Oh.
And so I remember not going. One morning I woke up with a headache and my back hurt. My mom was, "Oh, you're faking." I'm like, "No, like I really am in pain." And so she let me stay home from school. She came home on her lunch break and I was in so much pain. My dad was in the military. So she took me to the clinic on the base. And so when we got to the base, I passed out. I was out.
Wow.
And so I remember, it was a really horrible journey. But the one thing that I remember the most is coming out, and I remember these two nurses saying, "I don't think she's going to make it."
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was 14 years old. And so at that age, I was always a people person, but it just changed me. And so I just always had a mission from then to just connect with people and love on people. So like my best friends, like my very best friend, we've been friends since the seventh grade.
Wow.
And so she tells people like the person that you see now, Kenya has been the same person her entire life. And so I was engaged before I met my husband. Very similar. I think he had another side chick too. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I don't know how we call off our engagement and then you living with somebody and you're pregnant 6 months later. But whatever. Another story for another day. But anyways, and so even in that situation, I was like, that cannot define who I am. Then fast forward, my husband and I try and have children in our adult life. We have 5 miscarriages. We had a failed adoption. And so on that journey, through that, the way that my circle of friends showed up for me.
Yeah.
In every, like the 5th one was no different than the first one.
Yeah.
they showed up the same way.
Yeah.
And then when we had our failed adoption, they showed up the same way. So for me, I feel like I have a responsibility to bring women together.
That's good.
And so sometimes it's not even for me.
Yeah.
Like I might meet a woman that I don't have really anything in common with. So I might get her number just, because it's what you do.
Yeah.
May send a text here and there. But then I might meet someone else that I'm like, oh, I do know somebody that I can connect you with.
Yeah.
And then I connect them. So it's not just because I love people, but I feel like I have a responsibility to connect women, because when we, we learn together, grow together. It's just, I'm going to remember it, but it's, we rise when we come together. When we come together, we rise faster and we fall softer.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And so we got to come together. Especially now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I asked that because it takes a special kind of patience.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
To have those type of social outings for women, because you're dealing with a lot of emotions. And so, you being an example in pouring and connecting people, I just kind of wanted to see what caused that. Where did that come from? Tell us about the mission with Africa. Like, you're in this purpose driven, you're doing your thing. What upcoming things is coming up for you guys?
So we're getting ready to celebrate our 20th anniversary.
Nice.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And so just to know where our co-founders started and where they are now is just amazing. I mean, they started with, maybe we get a new baby on average every 8 days.
Wow.
So, and these babies are found in some of the worst situations. And so just to see them and know that we are able to just love them back to life is a blessing. But upcoming activities, we have we're having a Young Professionals networking on October 9th at Burton's Bar and Grill in Buckhead.
Okay.
We have our golf tournament that's coming up on November 21st. It's going to be at St. Ives Country Club.
Okay.
And then next year, I'm just working on just some smaller social events. And so I really want to get more people involved and just share the story and share the mission.
Do you guys do anything for Christmas too?
So we don't do a lot for Christmas. So let me back up. Okay. So we do, the kids get new pajamas every year for Christmas. New pajamas and new swimsuits for Christmas.
Okay.
And so usually there's a lady out of Chicago that collects all the pajamas and sends them over. So this year we collected them here in Atlanta. Well, people sent them. We did an Amazon wish list and people sent them from all over.
Okay.
And so it was really fun. We pulled a group of about 25 volunteers, came in, and we were able to wrap those Christmas pajamas for the kids. So that was really fun.
Nice.
And then this year we did Christmas card writing. So every child will get a Christmas card that has been written for them here in Atlanta.
And when do you start that? Is that already in progress?
So it's done for this year, but we'll start in April of next year.
April of next year. So
yes.
It's always in the spring?
It's always in the spring, yes.
Okay, for December.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so we have a container that leaves in August, and so we'll wrap it, write the Christmas cards, and then it goes on that container in August and arrive in Africa, usually like the end of October, beginning of November.
Okay, that's good. Tell us about a moment where there was a pause for you on your journey, where you felt like where you were just wasn't it, and you needed to be refueled from God. And what did that look like? Like, what steps did you take? Because that could bless somebody.
So I tell you, our failed adoption was really hard.
Okay.
It was probably harder than the miscarriages, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because we had this baby for almost 4 months. And then we had to give her to her father. Granted, she needed to be with her father. Yeah. I do personally. I mean, there are some people that may not agree with this. But depending on the situation, I do believe that it's important for a child to be with their biological family. Yeah. That's just what I believe. And that comes from a history of adoption in my family and just seeing the results of that. And so some good and some bad.
Yeah.
But for me, that was a really hard time. And I'll say it was hard for me to watch my husband more so even go through it. Because he wanted a baby so bad.
Yeah.
And so I was never, like he always told me, Kenya, a baby does not complete our family. We are already one. A baby is going to be an enhancement to our family.
Yeah.
And so I always walk with that. But then to see him be able to have that and then it be taken away, it broke me. And so I was just in a really, really dark place. I worked at another company, not the one that I left 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't do my job. I couldn't function. Yeah. I couldn't do anything. And so my boss at that time pulled me in his office, like he could see it.
Yeah.
And he said, Kenya, this is not like you either are going to need to step down or but you cannot lead a team of people the way that you are. Like, I wasn't like you. When you I was a mess. I could not do it.
I was a mess too.
Girl, oh my God. I was like, I think back on it. Yeah. Like, I remember the Mother's Day, like I wore all black to church on I was a hot mess. I was so extra. Like, I was real extra.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I had to sit in that. And I remember saying, like, God, if you get me through this season of depression and help me to help my husband get through this season of depression, I will focus on you. But you know how we do, right?
Yeah.
So God helps you through that. And you're like,
I'm
good. I'm good now.
I just talked about
I'm good,
that.
God. All right, I'm good.
And then you look around and be like, whoo,
yeah. All right, God, I'm good. I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
But it was a season of where I paused. I quit working. Like, I couldn't work. Like, I literally could not function. Wow. And so I stopped working, and God just carried me through that. And he was like, you have to do something. Yeah. And so that was my period of pause. I called it my period of pause. My going through moment, right? Because I have this saying, when you're going through, it's hard. But when you get on the other side of through, then you look back and you're like, oh, I made that. Like, oh, I did that. And so when I got through that, I was able to press forward. And so I was able to join the company that I worked for 10 years prior to me taking this, and I thrived in it. Good. I did so well in it.
So back up a little bit and tell us about the moment that he pulled you in the office and said, you can't lead people like this. Like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
What was playing in your head at that time? Because it's so funny. Sometimes when we're in moments like that, we think that we're covering up. We think that people can't see
I knew stuff. I wasn't covering up. I knew I was a hot mess. That's like, I was like, you know what? Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Like, I 100% understand. Let me go home. Yeah. Let me talk to John. Yeah. And see what he says. But I get it. Because I wasn't. Like, orders weren't getting done. We were missing sales goal. It was awful. Yeah. But you know what the funny part is? Yeah. So he was crazy. This boss, he was crazy. Like, he was really crazy.
He had a responsibility too.
Yeah, he did. He was. Like, But he's a very astute businessman. Like, he knows. And so what was funny is probably the year before I left my previous company, his ex-wife came into the store. And she didn't remember me. And so we started talking, and I told her that I worked for this company because I don't remember how he came up, but he came up. And I told her, I said, I have to tell you, like, you're saying all these negative things. And he was crazy. Like, he was even a crazy boss. I said, but during that season, he was exactly who I needed.
That's good.
He was exactly who I needed during that season. And God knew that I needed to be at that place because that story was so crazy. We literally got a call out of the blue one day. My husband calls me, hey, there's a possibility of a baby. Do you want it? And me, I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Never told him sure before. Yeah. And so I even knew that she was supposed to be with us for that time until her father got himself together. So God makes no mistakes in anything. And that is part of my story and has made me who I am. but I needed to be with that boss at that time because he gave me grace.
That's good.
And if I had been anywhere else, I don't think that I would have received that grace for that long.
Right. And it also shows that on your path, God can use anybody.
Anybody.
Look at how he was disqualified with the ex-wife, of course.
Right, yeah.
She probably had I'm talking about a bucket load of
She
stuff
did.
to talk about.
I was like, you're right. I mean, you are right on all those things. 100%.
Yes.
However, I will tell you that, and I told her, I said, in that season, he was exactly who I needed.
Who you needed. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, thank you. Thank you again for being here, for taking the time to share all these beautiful nuggets and stories. I pray that this episode has blessed you. And I would just ask you, if it did, share it. Send it to a friend, send it to a loved one. It could be the moment that they need to push them through their day. And I would tell you, you can always find us wherever you listen to your podcast. It is iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify. We're there. 225 Moments with me, MNicole. And thank you so much for watching.